people laughed.
Yeah.
It's our job to take horrible shit and make people fucking laugh.
What did he say after 9/11? What was that great line that the second he said it on stage here, it was like the first funny thing anybody said after 9/11. I think Patrice said,
I forget.
We all assumed we knew who did it. Like immediately, it was like this thing about like.
No, that was the actual DC sniper. That was a DC sniper.
It was because Patrice. I remember the punchline was. Nobody looked up at that plane hitting the building and said, "The Swiss."
Oh yeah.
It was like the first, everybody right away saying this is Muslims, but nobody's looking at these planes going, "Motherfucking the Swiss."
That's funny, dude. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The other one, the DC sniper one. I said this on the other day. On O&A the other day, when the DC sniper, everybody thought it was a white, lone, because that's a serial killer, white, middle-aged, between 30 and 40, And he goes, yeah, man, it was just a nigger in a Buick. It was just a nigger in a Buick. And they did it on Tough Crowd, and they bleeped Buick because they weren't a sponsor.
Fucking hilarious.
They let him say nigger, but they bleeped Buick. So it was
That's
beep,
hilarious.
nigger.
Wow. That's fucking
Dude,
hilarious.
put your mic like this because you keep falling out. See how mine's straight on my mouth?
Oh, sorry.
See, just like that, because when you turn to Dane, I'll move over, and so you're sitting like that.
The funniest thing I ever saw him say, heard him say, saw him say, was at a different Caroline show, and it was so true. I was just like, God damn it! There's some Filipino guy in the front row. And he just in the middle of his set, he just points at him. He does that upside down finger point that he used to do. He just points at him, and he goes.
I forgot about the upside down. I've heard everybody in the last couple of days talk about the point, but I forgot about the upside down. And he had that long fingernail, and just point at you upside down.
He just fucking points at the guy, and he goes, "What's your name, foreign face?" The guy goes like Mike, and he goes, "What are you, Chinese?" And the guy goes, "No, I'm Filipino." And she just goes, "Don't you hate when you call a Chinese motherfucker the wrong kind of Chinese?" And he goes, then he's going to explain to you what he is, and you got to act like you fucking care.
A Chinese motherfucker, and he says it.
The finger point's good. Today I was reminding O&A and those guys how you kind of knew the mood Patrice was in, or you could walk into a place and by looking at him, however he was wearing his hat, you kind of knew where he was coming from. If it was the wool cap and it was almost halfway through his eyes, it was like, don't ask him a question until he finally says man, and then he was gonna you could really, he had mood hats, whatever way he was wearing it.
He did. It was funny. He had these things. He was in jerseys. Then he got into necklaces and jewelry, and then he got into hats.
Right.
And then he got into dressing up. He was in a leather jacket. Remember the leather jacket with all the with every NBA team on it?
Yes.
Oh, we used to trash him all the time for his fucking jerseys and stupid. He came into the cellar one night dressed with a red suit, a tie, bow tie, and a red hat. And he caught a fucking pounding he walked in, I go, what did you, just come with your own barbecue sauce?
Holy shit.
But I remember this last 4th of July, man. He called me, the first barbecue he ever had. He called me up. He's like, I'm having a barbecue at my house. And it's not as easy to get to his house as you think. It's in Jersey City, but it's kind of a pain in the ass, and it's weird situated. And I wound up going out there, and I remember. Fuck. I'm sorry, man.
That's all right, man.
I remember going out, and he needed more alcohol. So he was like, Bobby, it's a barbecue. There's all these friends I don't know. There's a lot of black people there too. There's all the other guys, and he was like, Bobby, want to take a ride? And I went with him to get the booze, and it's like, out of all these fucking people, you're like, you want to go take a ride? He's like, he asked me, and it just made me feel, I knew he was my friend. I knew he was one of my best friends for a long time. I just felt like, fuck yeah, man. Yeah. And we went, and he didn't know how much that meant to me inside. And I remember I bought booze for him. He's like, yeah, I need to do that. And I was like, like same shit. I wanna buy it. He's like, all right, man, thanks, a lot. And I bought like a couple $100 worth of booze with him, and he bought some booze. And I don't drink. I'm sober 20-something years, and I'm buying $200 worth of alcohol for people I don't even fucking know. But I just wanted to be black people too. That's expensive alcohol they drink. Fucking that champagne with the gold moonshine. Fucking tinfoil.
Goldschlager?
Dude, did you say moonshine? They're not fucking from Kentucky, Jesus. Black people. They're fucking,
they went old school.
Yeah, they're Hennessy motherfuckers. But
yeah, this is more of like a hypnotic.
Yeah, so we
kind of scene.
We went back, and I remember that he called me the next day, and I was like, "What's up?" He's like, "I just want to thank you for coming by, man. That meant a lot to me that you showed up." That's the fucking guy people don't know.
Yeah.
People think Patrice was a bully and made fun of him. And he was so powerful on every aspect of his personality. But people don't realize that. I remember when Al lived with him. I used to go to his house in Jersey. Me and Patrice would go shopping together for food, and we'd go back to his place. He'd fucking cook food for a couple hours and then come out and try and feed me.
Right.
Feed Al. And fucking, he was one of the sweetest people I ever met in my life, and he had a big heart. I know a lot of famous motherfuckers that are fucking just assholes, fucking assholes. They don't have a heart. They're not connected to you emotionally. You know what I mean?
Right.
But this group of people that we're involved in are, we have hearts. Norton fucking gives a shit. We all care about each other.
We can appreciate the sacrifice. This is like the most... there's no degree that guarantees you're ever going to meet the success that you hope for in this business.
Yeah. Well, if you helped me and Joe and Dan, if you put a word in, you'd probably help us get there. But
If you made me a part of your short film, I would have done that.
Oh, shit.
Yabble dabble. No.
That fucking short film fucked our lives.
I know. Really put us on the outs with some people.
We did it out of respect.
I know.
The people who were in the movie we don't like as much as you.
The funniest was when Bobby was defending our approach on O&A when Jim was upset that we didn't ask him to be in it on the show. And Bobby's going, it's a piece of shit. It's a stupid fucking movie. Like, I've never heard.
And then you guys end up at Tribeca with De Niro, and everybody's like, oh, really?
So funny, man.
Couldn't have thrown an EP credit on there for me? Nothing. Just the hand job credit? Nothing.
What is it? What's a hand job?
It means
credit?
I give you a few grand so you can buy some milk for fucking Don.
Ah, shit. I didn't know that was fucking... I would have thrown your name in it. I would have recut it if I knew you were going to throw some cash our way.
We were so just like like you said, out of respect, we didn't ask a lot of people to be part of this.
Yeah, we
don't have them to laugh at.
I asked Colin, and he said yes, and I went, really? I was like, really?
I mean, Voss, we knew was
Voss.
Yeah,
we knew.
Easy.
That was the biggest thing Voss has done in 8 years.
You know what? Just
Nothing?
No, I laughed.
Where? On the inside? What are you, fucking Gabe Cotter?
Deep down in my stomach.
Are you the principal on the fucking Sweat Hogs? I laughed in here. Remember that episode?
Is that the name of the show?
The Sweat Hogs.
Welcome
back, Cotter.
Welcome back, Cotter.
Yeah.
There you go. Bing, I knew you'd know, you fucking savant.
I wasn't as close to Patrice as you guys were, but
True.
yeah.
It's absolutely true. Anyways, Dane, do you have any stories?
Bingo.
Yeah. No, he was my friend, and it was. I remember him calling me a couple times. He called me after O&A, and like, but there were 2 times. One time he called me and he goes, "Joe, man, that was fun today. You weren't insulted by me fucking with you at all, right?" And I was like, "No, not what? No, not at all." And like, I was so touched that he took a minute to be like, "Are you?" And he even said, he goes, "Joe, you know the difference between me now and me 10 years ago is I wouldn't have made this call."
Yeah.
He's like, I you're my friend, and I was like. And then he called me the day we were on doing the shit about the deep dish pizza and Lady Gaga and all that shit, where it was like the most fun I've probably ever had on O&A. He called me that night and was just like, that was fucking fun today, man. Like, that was really fun. And I was, so it's like you're saying, I was so fucking touched that he was calling me and just saying, like, hey, dude, you know, when you look up to somebody and they go, attaboy, you know, it's just like, oh, that's nice to, you know?
Yeah, there's some guys like that who they being friends with them, you're like, man, it's like an honor that you're my friend.
Right. Or it's a keep your enemies closer thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just thinks you're a douche.
Well, now I know if you give me a compliment where it's coming from.
Well, here's the thing.
He also, not to interrupt, but he also, you know, kind of
You did. You did.
You apologize for the interruption as you're doing it. It's a
okay.
take. It's a take. It's like Stratego when I.
Good.
He was for me. It's like my last kind of course because I fell off with Patrice in the last bunch of years. Sometimes being like comics were very like I don't know. There's just like a vicinity thing where sometimes distance and you know we fall off for a little bit, but you know it's like I was going through all this shit and kind of being maligned by a lot of people after all the Louis stuff really was like at its peak and you know I did radio a couple of times that people were like. Some people that said they were my friends were kind of like not saying anything, which is almost worse. And Patrice was right there to, you know, stick up for me. And he didn't need to say a word. You know, it's one of those things I just remember being on the phone and I was like really nervous to make that call. And I just wish I'd talked to him recently. That's the thing that's going to, you know, that's the hardest part.
Well, you know, I was supposed to have him on the podcast the week before. And then he actually did Jay Moore's podcast that Monday, which, you know, I called him. I was like, really, dude? Are you going to do his podcast before mine? And he was like, he talked about it on Jay's podcast. He said I was supposed to do Bob Kelly's, but I fucked up. And it wasn't that I didn't want to get him on. It wasn't that it's just I didn't want to put him out. Like you too. It's like, you know, like you said, I want you on. I want my friends on it, but I don't want this podcast to ever be something that people have to do because they're my friend.
Yeah.
I want them to want to do it because it's a fucking fun time and it's cool. Move it along. So anyways,
Bobby, gotta go.
That's so funny, dude. What the fuck? What a cunt. I was really in a moment.
Yeah, I know.
But Joe, that was
But to be fair, it was a moment with Jay Moore involved, so.
Well, that's it's fucking killing me. But he did his podcast, and I called him up. I was giving him shit. I was like, "What the fuck? He was like, "I would have done your podcast, motherfucker. You said do it." And I was like, "Good, we're doing it this. We're doing it this week." And it's like, "Fuck, I'm not trying to."
He really, really wanted to get out of this podcast.
Holy shit.
The lengths that people will go to avoid doing a podcast with Bobby.
Jesus Christ, man. Jesus,
holy shit.
You know what's so funny is those
hilarious.
That's fucking
hilarious.
Terrible. That's terrible.
That's funny.
I'm gonna edit that out. No, I'm not. What did Attell say on the radio the other day?
Dude, we were laughing so fucking hard.
That was brutal the other day, by the way, on O&A. It was fucking brutal. Like you today calling in, and it was great. And
I was in there.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, you today. I was listening to him today. It was great. But we were in the other. It was me calling. Who else? Voss.
No,
Voss
wasn't there.
Oh, Keith, right? Keith was there.
Keith wasn't there.
No. Jim Florentine.
Russ, Attell, Louis.
Russ Maneve came in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Norton, of course, and
Opie and Anthony.
O&A, and then Kurt Metzger. Yeah. Bunch of guys. Bunch of fucking guys.
Did you hear that fart?
Did I ever?
Amy
came in. Yeah, she left though, right?
She had to go. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, she had to go somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it was brutal, but it was beautiful.
It was literally I took a lot of the fucking hits, man.
Oh, you mean brutal like because you got trashed so hard?
We all got trashed.
Oh, I thought you meant because of Patrice.
No,
I thought you meant you were like...
I got to stop. Your farts are dangerous.
Yeah. Is it bad?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. If there was a doctor here, he could do a prognosis on your health based on the pungent stink.
Is it bad?
It was worse than DeRosa's before the podcast started. Yeah.
Did you ever leave a bag of Doritos like in a backseat of a car for a month?
No.
And then...
Me? But we were smashing. Zing.
Yeah, the trashing was brutal. I thought, yeah.
But it got so fucking crazy. But then Attell said something that you told me that was fucking
Jesus
hilarious.
Christ. Yeah, after you left, Attell goes, Attell had just come in. It's like one of the first things he said. And Opie goes, we're all here. And he rattled off everybody. And he goes,